Good afternoon. My name is Alexander Dudek. A former president has fallen ill, NBA playoff action, and a disheartening development in Cleveland, Ohio. All this and more on today's Franciscan Beat News Brief. Police in Canada's biggest city are piecing together witness accounts and surveillance video, trying to determine why a driver plowed a rented van along a crowded sidewalk, killing 10 people and injuring 15 in what many said seemed a deliberate attack. 25-year-old Alik Minanassian was quickly captured in an intense but brief confrontation with officers a few blocks away from the attack. Authorities have not determined whether there was a motive for the attack or not. Former President George H.W. Bush has been hospitalized in Houston with a blood infection, just days after attending the funeral of his wife, Barbara. Jim McGrath said Monday on Twitter that the 93-year-old Bush is, quote, responding to treatments and appears to be recovering. He was admitted Sunday morning to Houston Methodist Hospital. Authorities say 13-year-old boy has shot and killed his 11-year-old brother outside of Cleveland in what police describe as an apparent premeditated act. Streetsboro police say officers were called to a home around 9:30 p.m. Monday where an 11-year-old boy was shot and then later died at a hospital. Police say the 13-year-old has been charged with aggravated murder in Portage County Juvenile Court. Police say the gun used in the slaying was stolen from his grandfather's home. In sports, the Houston Rockets have command of their Western Conference quarterfinal series following one of the greatest quarters in NBA playoff history. The Rockets blasted off for 50 points in the third period to cruise past the Timberwolves, 119-100. James Harden scored 22 of his 36 points in that quarter, while Chris Paul contributed 15 of his 25. The 12-minute assault allowed Houston to turn a one-point lead into a 31-point advantage heading into the final period. Last night, the Utah Jazz completed another dominant home victory versus the Oklahoma City Thunder. Carmelo Anthony was the subject of extreme ridicule on social media as he put up 11 points on 5 for 18 shooting, a terrible mark for a man who's being paid $28 million next season. The entire team was dragged on social media due to Joe Ingles, an Australian forward who was a bench player during the regular season, exploding from the three-point line during the series, putting up more than 20 points in the past two games, all the while taunting Paul George after each one of his made shots. Shea Serrano, an NBA writer for the news organization The Ringer, perfectly summed up the hype around Ingles as he tweeted, quote, "It's cool that we all finally agree that Joe Ingles is the best basketball player of all time now." Tonight, playoff action continues with Bucks Celtics at 7 p.m. and two potential closeout games as Philadelphia and Golden State will both look to move on to the second round tonight, games starting at 8 and 10:30 respectively. In weather, the high today is 48 degrees and it is predicted to rain all day. Tomorrow we'll have cloudy skies and a high of 55 degrees. For Franciscan Beat, I'm Alexander Dudek.